Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the board, I welcome you to the 55th hybrid AGM of IOI Corporation Berhad, which is held in compliance with Section 327 of the Companies Act 2016 and Article 70 of the company's constitution. The conduct of this hybrid AGM is also in accordance with the guidance note on the conduct of AGM or general meetings for listed issuers issued by the Securities Commission Malaysia. Similar to the previous AGMs in 2022 and 2023, the board has decided that the 55th AGM to be conducted both physically and virtually in order to allow effective engagement with our shareholders. Nevertheless, shareholders or proxies with symptoms of COVID-19 are advised to utilize the remote participation and electronic voting facilities to ensure public safety. I wish to thank all of you for your presence at this 55th AGM and the continuous support for the company. We are pleased to be able to connect with you and answer any queries that you may have related to the company and the agenda for today's meeting. Before we proceed with the business of this AGM, I will explain the conduct of the meeting today. We will start by putting forth all the resolutions. After all agenda items have been tabled, we will proceed to present our responses to the queries received from the Minority Shareholders Watch Group. After that, we will move to the Q&A session to address questions related to the agenda items and resolutions tabled for approval at this meeting. We will first address questions from the online meeting platform, followed by questions from the floor. The voting sessions will be open at a time which I will announce later during this meeting. Once the voting session is open, you may vote that at any time during the meeting proceedings until the completion of the question and answer session. We will make every effort to address all questions submitted to us. For questions which are related or similar in nature, we will group the questions and provide a single response. For those present at this physical meeting venue today, kindly switch off your mobile phones and set it on a silent mode. This is to ensure smooth proceedings of this AGM. We kindly remind shareholders and proxies that photography, video, and audio recording during the meeting are not permitted. However, an official video recording of this AGM will be made available on our website for public viewing. As mentioned in our administrative guide of this 55th AGM, only shareholders and proxies who attend this AGM physically are eligible to receive e-vouchers in the form of Touch and Go e-wallet credits. The Touch and Go e-wallet reload pins will be emailed to the eligible shareholders and proxies within 21 business days from the date of this AGM. For walk-in shareholders and proxies who did not pre-register via the Convene AGM online portal, kindly ensure to provide your valid email address to our administration and polling agent at the registration desk. We also wish to highlight that in case of emergency, on-site shareholders may exit the ballroom through the doors located on the left. To ensure everyone is familiar with the necessary safety procedures, please take a moment to watch the following video, which explains the evacuation process and steps to be followed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Le Meridian Hotel Putrajaya. I'm the safety officer of this hotel, and please allow me to take 3 minutes of your time to brief on the emergency procedures of this hotel. You are currently at Millennium Ballroom Level 1. In the event of fire or any other emergencies, you will hear a continuous alarm bell followed by an announcement from our public addressing system. In the event if it's a real alarm, then an evacuation announcement will be made throughout the hotel. Even if it's a false alarm, an announcement will be made informing that it is a false alarm. Please do not panic, do not run, do not use lift, and do not use the elevators. Stay calm as the hotel's trained emergency response team will immediately take charge of the situation and will direct you to the nearest emergency staircase. Our fire exits are clearly marked throughout the hotel, and there are 2 fire exit staircases which is located outside of this meeting room. Once reaching the staircase, walk down to the ground floor and exit out of this building through the main glass door. Our hotel emergency response team then will direct you to the assembly area, which is located about 80 meters away from the hotel lobby. For your information, the nearest fire station is located in Cyberjaya, which will take about 15 minutes to reach in case of emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a non-smoking building. However, there is a designated area outside of lobby of this hotel for those who wish to smoke. Also be informed that the prayer room is located in level 1 and the nearest clinic is in IOI Shopping Mall level 2 West Wing. The hotel do have safety equipments available such as wheelchair, stretcher, crutches, and first aid kit, and please do reach out to us if the need arises. Last but not least, we do not have a fire drill exercise today, and therefore have a pleasant day ahead. Thank you.
Before proceeding with the agenda for today's meeting, let me introduce my fellow directors and members of the senior management in attendance. From my far left, on the first row, we have our non-independent, non-executive director, Mr. Lee Yao Seng, and Company Secretary, Mr. Vincent Tan. On my immediate right is our Group Managing Director and Chief Executive, Dato' Lee Yao Cho, followed by Independent Non-Executive Director, Dato' Kong Soy Lin. On the second row, starting from my left, we have our Group Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Kong Kian Beng. Independent Non-Executive Director, Mr. James Ling Tuang Oi. And Independent Non-Executive Director, Dato' Zurina binti Pawang Te. Followed by our Independent Non-Executive Director, Dr. Nesudarai Kalaniti. Also present at this meeting are the audit engagement partner, Mr. Pang Zi Hao, and the engagement senior manager, Mr. Ng Shin Yin. At this meeting, both of them are from BDO PLT. I shall now call upon the Company Secretary, Mr. Vincent Tan, to confirm if there is a quorum to proceed with today's meeting.
Thank you, Tan Sri Peter, Chairman. I wish to inform that under Article 65 of the company's constitutions, the quorum necessary for the transactions of business at the general meeting shall be 2 members present personally or by proxy or by corporate representative entitled to vote. Based on our attendance record, I am pleased to confirm that the presence of the requisite quorum as at the commencement of this AGM.
Thank you. Thank you, Vincent. I shall now call the meeting to order. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice of AGM has been issued and published within the stipulated time and advertised in the Star newspaper. If there are no objections, we will take the notice as read. In my capacity as chairman of the meeting, I have been appointed as a proxy by some shareholders, and hence I will be voting in accordance with their instructions. In compliance with the main market listing requirements of Bursa Malaysia, all ordinary resolutions set out in the notice of the AGM will be voted on by poll. Therefore, as chairman of the meeting, I hereby demand a poll to be taken on all the resolutions pursuant to Article 73 of the company's constitution. Our administration and polling agent, KPMG Management and Risk Consulting Sdn and Berhad, will conduct the electronic polling, while SKY Corporate Services Sdn and Berhad will act as independent scrutineer to validate the votes cast at this meeting. The representative of KPMG will now present the polling procedure and functions available within the convened AGM online portal.
Thank you, Tan Sri Chairman. Good morning to IOI Corporation Berhad, Board of Directors, shareholders and proxies. I'm the poll administrator appointed to provide electronic poll voting services at this meeting. I will now explain the process for the electronic poll voting. During registration this morning, we had asked you to scan a personalized QR code. The QR code is unique to each attendee. They contain information about you and your voting entitlement. Once you have signed in, you should see your name at the top right-hand corner of the screen. You can use convened AGM meeting platform to ask questions, vote, and watch the live streaming. However, do not play the live webcast if you are seated inside Millennium Ballroom 1. Should you need to step out, the webcaster, you can click on the live webcast to follow the AGMs from outside. If you have accidentally closed the browser or are unable to get to the meeting platform, please head to the back of the hall near the exit and approach the help desk team for assistance. Alternatively, you can put up your hand and one of us will come to you. As soon as the poll opens, you should be able to see the voting options. There are 8 resolutions for voting. Make sure you receive a message showing voted successfully before moving to the next resolution. If you are representing multiple proxies, you may vote for each of them separately or cast your vote on your selected option. You may change your vote at any time while the poll is open by simply clicking or cancel the button and resubmit your new option. Once the poll has ended or after voting, you can log out from convened AGM by clicking on your name. To summarize, we shall now play a short video clip on how to cast your vote.
AGM at Convene allows you to fully participate in the meeting anywhere you are. Let's get started. For questions, select Ask a Question. Click Type your question. Here's how to vote. Cast your vote on the desired option. Select Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to change your vote, Click on Cancel Vote and vote again. Need some extra help? Simply select Contact Support and chat with our help desk to talk to our friendly team.
Webcast not loading? How to change to alternative channels. Click the Alternative Channels button at the bottom of the screen. Select the channel that best shows the webcast on your device. Wait for the alternative channel to load.
This concludes my presentation. Dear shareholders, proxies, the Board of Directors will be providing extra time for voting. So even though we will begin the voting now, please remain here and follow the AGM. Extra time will be given for voting. We will come to you later for you to vote. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, KPMG. The voting period is now open for you to cast your votes. Please note that voting can be done at any time during the meeting proceedings until the end of the Q&A session. As for the submissions of questions, those tuning in online may submit your questions throughout this AGM by clicking on the Ask a Question button at the bottom of your webcast screen. The online meeting platform now offers two ways for you to post your question. You may type your questions by selecting the Type a Questions function, or you may choose the Queue for Video or Voice Call function to ask your questions verbally. Those who choose to ask questions verbally will be admitted in sequence of queue order during the Q&A session. You may continue to type your questions or queue for video or voice call until the chairman announces the closure of the Q&A session. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now present our group's financial performance for the financial year ended 30th June 2024. Allow me to invite our group CFO, Mr. Kong Kian Bang, to conduct his presentation.
Thank you, Tan Sri Chairman. I now present to you the group financial performance overview for FY24. FY24 revenue decreased by 17%, which is primarily due to lower selling price with stiff price competition and slower global demand. Profit before tax for FY24 decreased by 8% to 1.4 billion ringgit. Excluding the non-operating items, fair value adjustments or one-off items, the underlying profit before tax stood at 1.38 billion ringgit, a 23% decrease over last financial year. The decrease was mainly due to lower resource-based manufacturing profit, mitigated by higher plantation profit. Profit after tax for FY24 was at 1.11 billion ringgit, a 1% decrease from FY23. Earnings per share for FY24 was at 17.88 cents per share. For FY24 segment profit mix, plantation business contributed 79% of the total segment profits, an increased contribution mix compared to FY23, which contributed 62%. FY24 plantation segment profit increased by 5% to 1.21 billion ringgit. The higher profit was mainly due to higher FFP production, higher OER, and higher shares of associate results, partially offset by lower commodity prices. FFP production and OER were both recorded an increase of 4% over FY23 numbers. Average CPO price for FY24 was at 3,856 ringgit per metric ton, a 6% decrease over FY23 price. FY24 resource-based manufacturing segment profit decreased by 50% over FY23. By excluding the fair value adjustments, the financial year 24 underlying profit for RBM was at 292 million ringgit, a 61% decrease over FY23 underlying profits. The lower underlying profits was mainly due to lower margins from oleochemical and refinery sub-segment, mitigated by higher share of associate results. Sub-explanation on FY23, the high profits in FY23 were exceptional, driven by record margins. The reason for these high margins was due to strong customer demands resulting from global supply chain disruptions. In addition, Indonesian policy restricting CPO exports during the period also contributed to better margins. The Group FY24 balance sheet remains strong. The Group has high level of liquidity with cash and cash equivalent of 2.2 billion ringgit and a low net gearing ratio of 13.6%. For capital expenditure, in total, the Group spent 677 million ringgit, a 9% increase over FY23. The increase in CAPEX was mainly due to construction of new projects in Indonesia and increase of investments in biogas plants. For dividend, the Group has declared in total 9.5 cents per share for FY24, with a total dividend payout of 589 million ringgit. This is the end of my presentation. I now pass the mic back to Tan Sri Chairman for him to conduct the rest of the meeting's agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. KB Kong. This year, we will also be providing a short update on our company's sustainability initiatives and efforts. Without further delay, let's invite our Chief Sustainability Officer, Dr. Surina, to share her presentation with us.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming over today. Today, I will start with sharing IOI's sustainability journey forward. Sorry. Oops. I think I went a little bit ahead. Okay, so to start with, IOI's sustainable journey forward, enhancing biodiversity, transitioning together. I think it's important for us to start looking at our approach to corporate sustainability, where we look into our sustainability vision of meeting the needs of the present without compromising that of the future generation. We do this through our pillar of sustainability, balancing people, planet, and prosperity, together with partnership. And we are aware of our presence as a global multinational company, and we adopt the 6 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that is most relevant to our business. In terms of food security, we adopted UN SDG 2, which is zero hunger, followed by decent work and economic growth for UN SDG 8, 12, responsible production and consumption, UN SDG 13, which is relevant to climate change, as well as Partnership for Goals, UN SDG 17. In terms of looking at strengthening our IOI sustainability policy, we have renamed it to IOI Sustainable Policy instead of IOI Sustainable Palm Oil Policy because of our expansion into other business commodities. I think it's really important for us to strengthen our IOI as sustainable policy simply because of the fact that in terms of looking at ESG, our governance, we have added an additional statement that shows board's direct involvement in our group sustainability activities. We look into compliances to our policies and regulation. We looked into strengthening our environmental dedication in terms of looking at implementation of our decarbonization program towards pathway to net zero by 2040. We would also like to look into strengthening the social aspects, and this is shown by promoting children's right to ensure that they are safe from harm and from any kind of exploitation. In looking at our dedication towards decarbonization pathway to net zero by 2040, we have adopted the Task Force of Climate-Related Financial Disclosure since 2020. According to the Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosure, we looked into strengthening our governance, and this is related to the fact that climate-related matters are discussed at the board level. We talked about the formation of the Climate-Related Financial Disclosure Committee, because this is important for us to look into the kind of investment required to meet our commitment of net zero by 2040. We have put in place strategy to approach the decarbonization pathway through technology and innovation, through renewable energy, and to our 7 R's of circularity. And that includes the first part, which is rethink. Rethink the way we do business. Rethink the way we can utilize our waste. We also have a holistic climate transition action plan for 2024 through innovation and technology, improve efficiency and support actions throughout our operation, as well as a nature-based solution. And this is really been successful, because we have actually achieved a 42% greenhouse gas reduction ahead of our short-term target, which is 40% greenhouse gas reduction by 2025. So 1 year ahead, we have been able to reduce up to 42%. And this is specifically because of the fact that we have introduced methane capture from our POME, we have used solar energy instead of fossil fuel, we have repurposed some of our biomass like oil palm trunks and for eco-friendly products, recycling of effluent water for non-critical use, and aligning our greenhouse gas calculation based on the greenhouse gas protocol. So in terms of approaching our approach on environment, enhanced biodiversity and ecosystem is what we are looking at. We are looking towards maintaining a sustainable agriculture by, for example, introducing regenerative and precision agriculture. We are the first in Southeast Asia to actually have an organic palm oil palm plantation certified, 1,128 hectares. And we have used beneficial plants and animals in our estate to promote regenerative and regenerative agriculture. In terms of safeguarding our natural ecosystem, we have been implementing circularity approach, as mentioned earlier, to manage our non-hazardous waste. 98% of our biomass in the plantation are being recycled and reused for other purpose. For oleochemical, we have increased the recycling rate from 39 to 56% through the use of advanced process technologies to reduce chemical waste generation. In enhancing biodiversity and ecosystem, we have made sure that fire and peat management are being utilized through and introduce best management practice throughout our estates. For example, Bukit Lilau Mini Landscape Project has ensured that we have not had any kind of fires for the past 5 years. We have, for example, introduced the relief project. We have, for example, introduced the relief project, which is the reforestation of buffer zones within our estates for both environmental and to enhance our carbon sequestration. In looking at social issues, we look to protect our workforce by preventing forced labor. Our harassment-free and grievance mechanism has shown that our increased housing inspection, for example, from 36% to 52%, has resulted in a reduced complaints in terms of housing from workers from 64 to 48%. Our ethical recruitment and responsible, in order to have ethical recruitment and responsible employment, we have conducted third-party audits on our recruitment agencies. In uplifting our people, we have introduced the Women and Empowerment Committee, and this is launched at the group level, so this covers both the plantation as well as the resource-based manufacturing. We have introduced urban gardens, and in Just Transition, we have engaged with our workers to talk to them about the risks posed by climate change, for example, heat wave. We expanded our impact by eradicating child labor through education. This has benefited about 4,311 of our workers' children in Sabah. Sharing prosperity through IOI Foundation. The community development has introduced IOI Leadership Youth Camp, and the bargain basement has contributed more than approximately 1 million since 2016. So finally, in ensuring that our performance have been recognized, we have also participated in a lot of global assessment and ratings and received numerous awards. I'm happy to say that, for example, we have received the Sustainability-related awards in terms of ESG awards in 2023. This is the second consecutive gold awarded to the plantation sector. The Company of the Year in Green Education and Social Initiative for Plantation category, National Occupation and Safety Health Awards. We are also, for example, been awarded the CICM Responsible Care Awards. In Sustainalytics, it is a rating agency that looks into the risk of a company. And I am happy to say that we have improved our ratings from 24.7 to 23.3 in ESG risk Sustainalytics ratings score. This is one of the, in fact, the lowest in the plantation sectors. Thank you. In terms of EcoVadis, it is specifically for the manufacturing sector, and I'm happy to say that for IOI Oleo GmbH, we are for the 4th consecutive goal, and for IOI Pan Century, we have reached the 2nd goal in sustainability, and for IOI Istercam, this is for their first participation, they have received silver. FTSE for Good, I'm happy to say that we have received a score of 3.6 for ESG, and we achieved a perfect score for governance, and is the sole company among the top sectors to achieve this standing. Thank you again. And Spot, which is a palm oil, specifically geared towards palm oil, the percentage score for IOI has also increased from 79.7 to 85.3. So I'm hoping that for the coming years, we will further increase our, improve our performance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zurina. Without further ado, let's now proceed with the agenda of today's AGM. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statements for the financial year ended 30th June 2024 and the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. The audited financial statements are laid in accordance with Section 340 of the Companies Act 2016. As this item is for discussion only and do not require shareholders' approval, it would not be put forward for voting. A summary of the group's financial overview and performance highlights for the financial year 2024 are set out on pages 62 to 70 of the annual report. The business review of our operations is outlined on pages 72 to 84 of the annual report. For shareholders who are keen to read more about our group's sustainability matters, you may refer to our standalone sustainability report, which is made available on our website. We wish to inform once again that the Q&A sessions will be held after all the agenda items have been read. The second item on the agenda deals with the re-election of Mr. Lee Yao Seng and Dr. Nasadurai Kalaniti, who retire in accordance to Article 91 of the company's constitution, and being eligible have offered themselves for re-election as directors of the company. Their profiles are set out on page 87 of the annual report. Both Mr. Lee and Dr. Kalaniti have undergone the relevant performance evaluation, including a fit and proper assessment for the financial year under review. Following the assessment by our Governance and Nominating and Remuneration Committee, we are confident that Mr. Lee's commercial insight will support the group's growth. Additionally, Dr. Kalaniti's dedication to sustainability has strengthened the group's commitment to responsible business practices. The third item on the agenda is to approve the payment of directors' fees, inclusive of board committees' fees, of Ringgit Malaysia 1.62 million for the financial year ending 30th June 2025, payable quarterly in arrears. Upon recommendation by our Governance, Nominating and Remuneration Committee, the board has approved the adjustment to the fee structure for our directors, details of which can be found on page 108 of the annual report under the Corporate Governance Overview Statement. This adjustment is to compensate the directors for the increasing demands on their time, commitment and expertise to discharge their expanding responsibilities, given that governance standards and the regulatory environment are becoming more onerous and complex. The revised fee structure is also benchmarked against market trends for us to be able to attract and retain qualified directors on our board. If this resolution under this agenda item is passed at this meeting, the updated fee structure will take effect from the financial year 2025 onwards. The fourth item on the agenda is to approve the payment of directors' benefits other than directors' fees of up to Ringgit Malaysia 350,000 for the period from 6 November 2024 to the next annual general meeting. The directors' benefits payable for the said period comprise meeting allowances, insurance coverage, and golf privilege benefit for non-executive directors. The increase in quantum of the proposed directors' benefits is mainly to cater for the increase of meeting allowance per director per meeting, i.e. from 1,000 ringgit to 1,500 ringgit. This increase of meeting allowance has taken effect since September 2022. The meeting allowance is based on the expected frequency of meetings in the financial year 2025, constituting a significant portion of the total benefit amount, accounting for nearly 54%. We wish to inform that the proposed quantum of directors' benefits is merely an estimation, and that a higher amount is usually proposed in order to ensure that the actual utilization of directors' benefits is well within the limit approved by the shareholders. The fifth item on the agenda is to reappoint BDO PLT as auditors for the financial year ending 30th June 2025, and to authorize the directors to fix their remuneration. This resolution is proposed by the board based on the recommendation by our Audit and Risk Management Committee. Having been satisfied that the results of the annual assessment of BDO, we are also pleased to inform that BDO has expressed their willingness to continue in office. Next, the proposed ordinary resolution under agenda item 6.1 is to seek renewal of a general mandate, which, if passed, will empower the directors to issue and allot shares for not more than 5% of the total number of issued shares of the company. For such purposes, as the directors, for such purposes as the directors consider would be in the interest of the company. This resolution is also to seek shareholders' approval for the company's disapplication of statutory preemption rights under Section 85 of the Companies Act 2016 to allot new shares or to grant rights over shares without first offering them to existing shareholders in proportion to their holdings pursuant to the general mandate. I shall now take the text of the resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. For your information, the company did not issue any new shares pursuant to Section 75 and 76 of the Companies Act 2016 under the general mandate which was approved at the last AGM of this company. Moving to item, you have your turn when come to question time. Yeah, please.
Shareholder, Mr. Chairman, my name is James Lim. I'm a shareholder.
All right.
We have been queuing up before 10 o'clock, about 10:45, 50. Until now, then the queue has diminished. All those people who pre-register, because we didn't know that you have got to pre-register, because this is the first time that when we come to IOI meeting that we have got to pre-register. Those people who pre-register had got the privilege to register first. Those people who walk in have to queue up, and the queue was for about 45 minutes. And then when we come to our turn, there are still people somewhere inside, outside, no chance to come in for meeting. I'm afraid the meeting over, we can't even register because we came before 10 o'clock. Now, the other thing I want to complain is, those people pre-register, they can get a food package. But those people who didn't walk in, will not get a package. I think why double standard? So I think this is the first time I ever complained about this.
Okay, Mr. Lim, let our secretary, our company secretary answer you.
Okay, answer.
Thank you. We acknowledge that today, this time, there's a lot of the physical, present shareholders, and most of them did not pre-register. The purpose of pre-registration is to facilitate management to plan for the food pack to the shareholders. But although there's a shortage of that, we have arranged for the food vouchers to be distributed later. So just be patient, and later all those administrative matters, please come and see me. I will sort it out with you. And my secretary team will assist to take a look at the registration counter and see how to expedite it. And we have a video corporate for the AGM. After the meeting, we will still upload it. But for the purposes of the other difficulty and anything, please contact my secretary team. They will assist you for whatever can. All right?
Mr.
So
Chair,
for the food voucher, it will be distributed later because they need time to print. Because those are walk-in, some of them are not aware. It doesn't matter because we will sort it out. Just give us some time just to facilitate that. Yeah, today because actually we have 600 pre-registered, and those who present walk-in also quite a numbers. So therefore, just allow us some time to facilitate that. Thank you.
we have been allowing for 1 hour queuing up. Do you know that we are standing queuing up? You
Yeah.
stand for 1 hour queuing up? Especially all the senior citizens, they have got to queue up because they don't know how to pre-register. And also, we waited for so long, not because we want to just have the privilege of having a food package. But the thing is, we want to attend meeting. By the time we come in, it's almost finished already.
Okay, thank you. We will look into it next year.
That's why
Yeah.
we are not satisfied. I think you have got to look into it in future. Not only walk-in, but also the pre-register, not only pre-register, but walk-in also. Because all this while, IOI has been walk-in. We never had any pre-register. And if you notice, all the pre-register were young people.
Yeah, Mr. Lim.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Chairman. Let me finish. All the pre-register were young men.
Yeah, Mr. Lim,
Yeah,
please.
because they know how to pre-register.
I will answer you. I will answer you. We will be very happy if those people who are still outside, the shareholders, they want to come in and sit in this room, even though they are not registered. They can register later. We will be happy to admit them. Can the secretariat staff, please, if there is anybody queuing outside and wanting to come in, please let them come in. We still have vacant seats there, plenty of seats. All right, okay. Well, is this the same issue? If it is the same issue, we are dealing with it now.
I'm saying is that, I mean, you have to select, it's not that I'm complaining, you have to select another platform. This platform to register, to verify, to everything is all so complicated. Pick a credible one, pick a professional. I'm not criticizing, especially for senior citizens. You verify and all these type of things and send last minute.
All right.
Get a better one.
Okay. We will take note. Definitely we will improve next AGM, all right? I give you my assurance. Next AGM we will improve.
You have hundreds and hundreds of books of sustainable.
Okay,
report.
thank you.
Financial report, annual report don't have.
Yeah.
One, and then, please consider that. Have
Yeah.
more annual report.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Please allow me
2 days time on Thursday, we are going to have IOI property meeting here. I hope you can resolve this problem before that, because we are going to attend. Okay.
All right, okay. Please allow me to continue the meeting, please. Please sit down, please. No, that comes later. That comes later. That comes later, please. Yeah. We will have to carry on with the meeting, otherwise it will be too long. Please sit down. We will listen to you afterwards during the question and answer. No. Please let me carry on the meeting, and then there is a chance for shareholders to vote and all this. Yeah, please sit down, please. Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to item 6.2 of the agenda. The proposed ordinary resolution is to seek renewal of the authority of the company to purchase up to 10% of the total number of issued shares of the company. The details of the proposed renewal of the existing share buyback authority are stated in Part A of the circular to shareholders dated 7th October 2024. I shall take the text of this resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. For your information, the company did not purchase any share under the authority given by the shareholders since the last AGM of the company. Item 6.3 on the agenda is to seek approval from the shareholders for renewal of the shareholders' mandate for the recurrent related parties transaction of a revenue or trading nature, which are necessary for day-to-day operations involving the interests of the directors, major shareholders, and persons connected to the directors and or major shareholders of the company and its subsidiaries. I shall take the text of the resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. The interested directors, interested major shareholders, and persons connected to them are set out in Part B, Section 12 of the circular to shareholders issued on the 7th October 2024. These interested parties, together with persons connected to them, shall abstain from voting on this resolution. Item 7 on the agenda is to transact any other business of which due notice shall have been given. I have been informed earlier by the company secretary that we have not received any notice to transact any other business at this AGM. Our dear shareholders, we will now address the question received from the Minority Shareholders Watch Group. At this point, I would like to invite our Group Managing Director and Chief Executive, Dato' Lee Yao Cho, to address the questions raised by MSWG. Our Company Secretary will assist Dato' Lee by reading out the questions.
Thank you, Tan Sri Peter Chin, Chairman. Questions number 1 from MSWG is the recent announcement of Budget 2025, which includes a minimum wage hike, new crude palm oil, CPO, export tax structure, and revised windfall profit levy. To what extent will it impact the group's overall cost structure in the financial year ending 2025? How will it affect the group's existing and future strategies? Dr. Lee, please.
So Okay, good morning, members, shareholders, and the management of IOI Corporation. So I must say that this year, I want to commend MSWG for, I think, having submitted very pertinent questions. So some of their questions are actually quite detailed, and so we have to look hard for the detailed answer as well. So instead of we have prepared the written answers to the questions, but instead of just reading out the answers, so I will just try to use my own words to summarize the answers. So if you bear with me. So the question one is about all the budget measures. So there are, of course, the slight positive, but there are also a few negative. So being a plantation company which relies on a lot of foreign labor, so a few provisions are negative for the company, and they have been described there. So one is the minimum wage hike, and also which is not mentioned is the EPF contribution for foreign workers, which is new. In the past, we did not have to contribute EPF, but we do contribute the SOCSO benefits. So our group finance has come out with some calculations. So these are not taking effect immediately. So it is either in January or February. So that means it's about half of our financial year. So for half of the financial year, I think in summary, the effect is about 17 million ringgit. 70 million. So you say less than 1.5% of our net profit. Okay. So you double it, so possibly it can be doubled if it's for the full year. But then again, our net profit might also increase. So it may not be 1.5% times 2. So because we expect our net profit for this year, FY 2025, to increase. So these are effects. And the last one, the EPF, which I mentioned just now. So this is not certain yet, how it's going to be implemented. Our view is that these workers, they come in, actually they are quite young, because they have an age limit. They have to come in when they are 20s or 30s. And they are here only for 2 or 3 years. So is that really a point to ask them to contribute EPF? And then they have to wait. After that, when they go back, they will wait another 20 years to withdraw the EPF. So these are things that hopefully we can explain to the government also. Okay, next question.
Okay, the next questions are basically is also on their operational and financial matters. India has raised the basics import tax on crude and refined edible oils, including palm oil, by 20% points, which will effectively increase the total import duty on 3 oils to 27.5% from 5.5%. Imports of refined palm oil, refined soy oil, and refined sunflower oil will attract 35.75% import duty against the earlier duty of 13.75%. Has the group experienced weak demand for this product from Indian customers? If yes, to what extent?
Okay. This increase of import tax by the Indian government took place about almost 2 months ago. So of course, if the question is about our group's direct effect on our groups directly, so the answer is that we have very small amount of sales there, and even then it's indirect. But it is good that this export duty is uniform across not just palm oil but all other vegetable oils. So therefore there's no discrimination or uneven playing field there. So if you want to talk about what is the general effect for the palm oil import into India as a whole. So actually, surprisingly, for Malaysia, this for the month of November, so the estimate is that for the month of October, which is just passed. So actually the Malaysian palm oil export to India is still very strong. So 450,000 tons. So this is actually on the high side. So So surprisingly, this higher export duty has not, or import tax from Indian government has not affected imports into India. But perhaps another reason is because 31st of October we had the Diwali or Deepavali. Okay, the one on the price, I think I'm sure there will be someone will ask about what is the price outlook, so that will be later on.
All right. Now I'll move on to the sustainability questions from MSWG. Now, the group's disclosures of its sustainability performance under the Bursa Malaysia's prescribed format, i.e. labor practices and standards. The number of substantiated complaints concerning human rights violation increased from 2 incidents in FY 2023 to 8 incidents for FY 2024. What were the reasons for the significant increase in the number of substantiated complaints relating to human rights violations?
Okay. Can I flash the answer? Yeah. Okay. So of course, this we are talking about 2 to 8 is a big increase, but we have to look at it in the context of we have more than 120 operating units within the group, and of course managing about 26,000 employees. So nevertheless, of course, again we call it human rights, but actually it's a lot. It's about, so some of it is about employee welfare also. So in any case, so we think that of course increase in complaints sometimes we treat it always with a positive mindset, because that means that people are more willing to voice out their grievance, and so therefore we take it positively because it enables us to detect the underlying, if any, underlying weakness in our employee rights treatment. So in this case, of course we have, what's good is that we take an effort to resolve the complaints that have been had. I think there's a next question about what type of complaints there are. What is the nature of these 8 complaints concerning human rights violation? So our answer, so there are various. So some, I think, okay, you can read there. So some workers complain that harsh language has been used by their superiors, inequality treatment, or there's a sexual harassment, which of course we treat it very seriously. We have a policy against that. So one of it is by external party, and another one is between colleagues. So these are the 8 complaints.
All right. I'll move on to the next questions, also on the sustainability matters. Now, in our sustainability report, page 34, it was stated that the companies will monitor workers' rights through a human rights due diligence service provider. The service provider above highlight the issues in their assessment. If yes, was it triggered before or after the complaint were received?
Mm-hmm. So this is the European auditor, that service provider or auditor that came to conduct the due diligence on our treatment of workers. So, and I would say that yes, they highlight some of the issues, but of course not all, because some of just now what we mentioned about the 8 complaints, some are very specific, so you can never predict what is on the specific complaints. Was it triggered before or after the complaints were received? So again, the answer is half. Some yes, some no. So because of course by its nature of time, some of these the complaints were surfaced after the audit has been conducted. So that's all.
I'll move on next. What actions have been taken by the group to mitigate such human rights violations in futures?
So we call it employee rights and welfare. It is one of the key focus of our board sustainability committee and also the group steering committee, sustainability steering committee headed by me. And of course, we make it employee rights and welfare is one of the important KPIs for the operating units management. And this goes towards their annual performance appraisal. So by the way, also I also got KPI on the sustainability front. So it goes right up to the top of the management. And so important thing is for us, we want our employee to be happy. So we want to us any complaint I think is good so that we detect the problems early. That's why we are using all kinds of mechanism to elicit response from our workers. So one is using the app called IY Mesra. This app is in many languages according to the workers' home language. Then we also have, of course, the committees within each operating units. We have an employee consultative committee, so they can also voice out their complaints and various others, including whistleblower channels. So all these are our means of eliciting a response. Of course, when we get the complaints or feedback from workers, of course, naturally we have to act upon it. Otherwise, the workers will become more angry for having complained and not receiving appropriate action. So, and if you talk about audit, as a annual procedure, so because we are a member, we are undergoing certification by RSPO, Roundtable Sustainable Palm Oil, MSPO, Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil. So these are key issues that is under auditing every year when they do audits on our operating units.
Okay. I will still move on to the next questions on the human rights due diligence. In our sustainability report, page 79, the assessment was conducted independently by a service provider in selected estate, with only approximately 18% response rate and over 80% positive responses for several key indicators. The sub-questions: A, please clarify the methodology used for this assessment, and was this conducted through employee questionnaires or interviews?
So very detailed question, you can see. So you say, why poor response? Is it because of our methodology? So this service provider actually is not employed directly by us. So it was requested by one of our major customers from Finland. So it's a European service provider. So the format is that they do through a mobile phone survey, because most of our workers have got phone. So answer 20 questions, yes or no, or neutral. That's the format.
All right, I'll move on to another short question. Was the assessment conducted in the area where human rights issues have been reported in questions 3?
Okay, a bit of a repeat from just now the question earlier. So those that are covered relates to medical treatment, any discrimination, and so on. Okay.
MSWG also note that the companies decided not to expand this assessment to its operations in Sabah. We recommend conducting a more comprehensive assessment across all areas, as each location may face unique challenges that differ from one region or estate to another.
Yeah. So because of pure response, just now the figure was given, 17.8%. So we decided not that maybe we thought the format may not be so effective. And we believe that over time, our workers can see the sincerity. And plus all the channels that I've described to you just now. So we are now thinking of conducting it ourselves, the survey. Of course, it must, and with sufficient trust, we believe that we can still get a good feedback about the issues faced by our workers. So this will be conducted by, we have HR department, who, of course, there's operating units, but there's also a regional office. So we will have a regional office and even head office involved in this survey, rather than the operating units themselves.
All right. The last question is actually on the corporate governance matters, is on this gender diversity. I will group these two questions together for Dato' Lee to answer. As at 30 August 2024, the board has 43% female representations, and the board will endeavor to maintain a minimum 30% women as a member of the board. In terms of board diversity, what benefit has the board experienced from the participation of ladies directors on board? How have these benefits impacted the board's performance? And are there noticeable changes in the quality or diversity of perspectives in strategy discussions?
So our answer is going to make a lot of women happy. so our response is, so besides, of course, not just the number actually is very, percentage-wise is high, 43%, but also they are holding important positions in heading the committees. So Dato' Kong Swee Lin heads the Audit and Risk Management Committee, and Dato' Zurina, Governance, Nominating and Remuneration Committee, and Dr. Kalaniti, the Board Sustainability Committee. So the men take a back seat now. And what kind of key advantages that have positively impacted the board performance? So I think you can read that, but I don't want to stereotype the women. So I think, but we find that there's been very good in terms of more inclusive, more collaborative environment, and then and also making sure all the issues are addressed in a calm and patient manner. So I think we are able to find that we have a more informed and strategic decisions. Okay. Okay. So some of it may not be my words. So just okay. And then also to give a bit more insight. So Dato' Kong and Dato' Zurina heading the respective committee. So for audit, so they have elevated governance standards, reinforced the accountability, and enhance the group's transparency and integrity. So same as for governance committee. So as for Dr. Kalaniti, so she has a good experience in sustainability matters, being a board member of the Climate Governance Malaysia, which is part of the WEF, World Economic Forum. So he has been, under her leadership, there has been a increased focus on creating long-term sustainable value. So I think it has been very good. They have contributed significantly to the group's deliberations and able to increase the strategic value to the company. Thank you. Is that all? Yeah. Okay. And I believe there's also a question submitted by the shareholders. So can you? Okay. Is that being fleshed out?
Okay, I think we can do it now. Actually, we just have a few questions, 3 questions. But on the first one, I will read it probably since it's relating to the cost of the hybrid AGM. I will answer it. Now, the total cost for this year AGM actually still yet to be ascertained, as you see that there's overflow on the numbers for participation for this year. But roughly, always if we talk about the cost, it will be part of compliance costs, service providers costs, hotel, accommodations, food pack, and also the e-wallets. So it will be in the range of the 200,000 for that matters. And then on the other one is which is we have addressed the issues before in the past AGM, is whether the board would consider giving the the door gift of voucher e-wallets as a token of appreciation for those who have participated in this AGM. And what is the reason for the company giving door gift to multiple proxy holders who attend the physical meeting while ignoring shareholders who are attending the virtual meetings? Basically, as explained by my group managing director in the past, we more on to compensate some of the logistic, traveling expenses for you attend the meeting physically. Therefore, that's the rationale behind as a token of appreciations, for those who attend the meeting physically to have the e-wallets, and that the credit of e-wallets will be distributed after 21 days of today's meeting, because we still need to ascertain the eligibility for those other shareholders. Thank you.
No, we are still on the submitted questions here. So wait until we'll have one section open to the floor, because otherwise you get confused. The IT people will get confused. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I think that's all for these submissions for the questions.
Okay. Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you, Dr. Lee and Vincent, for answering, first of all, the MSWG questions, and secondly, those pre-submitted questions through our website. Now, as we have done that, let us move on to the written questions received via the online meeting platform. For those intending to use the video or voice call function to ask questions through the meeting platform, please be on standby and ensure that your camera or microphone is working properly.
We have received quite a number of the online questions. Probably I'll just read it out. How is the extent of implications due to the strengthening of the ringgit against the company's turnover?
Oh, okay. So this is about the effects of the forex. So of course, in comparison to 3 months ago, ringgit has strengthened. Earlier was strengthened even more, 4.13 maybe, and now it's 4.356. Of course, 3 months ago it was 4.77 or so. So what's the effect? Because people always say that weakening of US dollars, or put it the other way, strengthening of ringgit is not good for export-oriented company. So, but to me, actually, in the end, it's not necessarily so, because our group has got two main businesses. One is plantation. So you can see that in terms of ringgit, our latest palm oil price has increased quite significantly the last few weeks. So yesterday it has reached, on a spot basis, 4,900 plus per ton, and for 3 months forward, 4,860. So it's very high, in spite of the ringgit strengthening. So currency is not the only factor. On the margins for our resource-based manufacturing, so of course we work on margin regardless of what is the US dollars. So we work on a fixed margin, and of course if it's our margin also, I think, has improved, coming from a very low margin that we suffered last financial year and the half of the financial before that. So this financial year, actually, we can see that margin has improved. So in spite of this strengthening, for our business, actually it has not, has the adverse effect. Then we look at also what we have a US dollar loan. So these are for 10 years or so, medium-term loan. So every year, every now and then we have to reevaluate. We call it the translation gain or loss. So with the strengthening of ringgit, because we have a translation gain on this US dollar debt, which looks nice on paper, but it's actually non-cash flow. Yeah, next question.
All right, next question is about the physical or hybrid AGM. And basically, I'll just read it up. Generally, shareholders asking whether this hybrid AGM is against shareholder who cannot physically attend this AGM, so had to attend via this remote facility in your hybrid meetings. Our board's convenient decisions. Is this an overcompensated board strength? Does the RPV facility save the company more than the physical meeting portion in this hybrid meeting?
Okay, so I don't know why he said that we discriminate. Maybe, or you don't get the voucher. Okay, all right. Okay, so I think to me, it is a duty of shareholders to attend a meeting. if you are, so anyway, we give the vouchers because we appreciate that you come all the way to attend. So we give you the voucher for partly to reimburse your traveling expenses, and also as Asians we always we are hospitable, so we also provide food, breakfast and lunch for you. And for those, and just to mention also, to do a hybrid meeting which enable online participants, we have to spend about 20-something, 30,000 ringgit extra. So if you got 100 online participants, that is about 200 to 300 ringgit per person. So this to me is money well spent, because we want all shareholders, whether they can come physically or not, to be able to participate in a meeting. Next.
All right, there's another follow-up questions on just now the MSWGs through another shareholders. Now, the governance budget 2025, does it impact the overall company's operations? Will the operation cost be greater? Which company has the most impact?
Yeah, so I think this has been answered already. This the same question that was posed by Minority Shareholders Watchdog Group, question number 1. So we can go to the next question.
Right. The next questions from Mr. Liu. The group has invested 20% equity interest in Rosa RE Private Limited. The principal activities is in the generation of electricity by other source. What was the total investment incurred for this company, and the rationale and the prospect of this company moving forward?
Okay, so so far this still under what you call the permit application stage. This project Rosa, for those who are not aware, is about the installation of a big solar park in solar electricity park in our estate in Johor. So this is Johor is sort of quite near to Singapore, so we are proposing to sell the solar power generated to Singapore, and the rates in Singapore is probably about 3 times higher than those or even 4 times those in Malaysia. So far we have not spent much on it. I think our share is only 500,000 ringgit for doing all the consultant study and providing the bank guarantee to submit the application. Rationale and prospect of this company moving forward is we're still in the approval stage, and there are a lot of pieces to that we need to tackle. So besides the Singapore government who has to approve it, we also have to engage with TMB, who has got the monopoly on the grid, the transmission line. So it's still, we are still on a discussion stage. So the rationale, as I said earlier, solar energy is renewable. So we think that we want to be present in that business. And we are not the expert because this involves cross-border. So that's why we have partner. That's why we have a partnership with international players who has been established solar energy players in the field, and of course the returns are quite attractive. Next.
All right, I'll move on to this question from Muhammad Rizwan. He has two questions on the plantation's business operations. What is the average production cost? And the next question is, what is the different share production cost between the West and the East Malaysias?
What's the difference? Okay. So the average production cost is just production-wise is about 2,500 ringgit. Yeah. But with the credit, kernel credit, you will go down to about 2,000 ringgit per ton of CPO. Difference in production cost between West and East Malaysia. Production cost is dependent on both the monetary amount and also the productivity, because it's cost per ton. So at the moment, our West Malaysia yield is higher than East Malaysia. So therefore, the production cost, even though it is, or the quantum is higher, because West Malaysia cost is a bit higher, but on a per ton basis, I would say the two are comparable. The production cost between West and East Malaysia.
All right, I'll move on to the sustainability questions from Muhammad Sharia. What does it take 16 years, i.e. 2040, to achieve the net zero for climate change? Can the group achieve it earlier?
Wow. Okay, so for information, Malaysia and most companies are talking about 2050. Yeah, so still not good enough. Huh? So that means you have very high hope about the company's management. But I think we'll see. So as mentioned by Dr. Serena just now, so we have earlier on we set a short-term target that was set in 2020. So giving a target of 40% reduction in carbon intensity in 2025. So due to the collective effort, we have managed to achieve this target 1 year ahead in this year. So, but it's not easy, because otherwise everybody will say, I want to achieve it in 2030 or whatever. So 2040 actually is still very challenging, but we will strive, and we have committed to strive hard to achieve this. Okay.
Next question, I'll move on to this share buyback. Mr. Liu has asked these questions. The company's share price was traded as low as ringgit 3.67, as disclosed in the circular to shareholders. What are the reasons for not buy back any share of the company despite the lower price and good cash flow in this financial year end 2024?
Yeah, I missed that price. I should have bought, or I should have ordered the company to buy the share. Okay. So yeah, maybe next time I can ask Mr. Liu to advise me what's a good time to buy. Okay. So for information, of course, it was with 370 plus for some time, and I think yesterday there was a big jump to 390. Yes. So of course that also I think is a reflection of the palm oil price having increased by, so palm oil price increased by 300 plus ringgit last week, 1 week alone. So this week and the week before also probably 1 or 2 weeks before that also probably 200 ringgit. So actually altogether increased by 500-600 ringgit within 3 weeks. So good. So next time if you drop to 367, please buy, according to Mr. Liu. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lee. I move on to the plantations questions from Mohammed Sharia. For the plantation sector, what is the percentage on using AI technology, drones, and machines automations for efficient solutions?
Okay, Mr. Sudha, you want to answer that question? No, you got a mic? So it's AI, so maybe flash the question again.
Yeah. Can you flash the questions?
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Mohammed Shariel for the question. Regarding the use of artificial intelligence at the plantations, we are actually very minimal at this stage, okay? Because at the moment we are focused on mechanization. Okay? This itself is a very challenging duty because plantations has got many varying conditions, terrain, soil type, weather, and so on. So we haven't actually got the best machines as yet. While we're developing it, we have moved on to electric machines as well, EV, okay, electric vehicles. Now this makes the machines amenable to using control by GPS, and therefore we can also start using AI. So this is also work in progress. In fact, the entire industry is working together under the mechanization committee under MPOB, right? But individually, we are also doing our own. And as for drones, we are actually quite advanced in mapping. Okay, we use drones for mapping all of this. In fact, we have been using drones for about 20 years already, okay, to do all our mapping. Because sometimes we can detect encroachment, for example, right? And then now under the EUDR, you need to provide coordinates of our plantations, right? And also that of those we are buying from, those small holdings or small estates that if we do buy, we also need to provide the coordinates to the buyer. Okay, all this is very easy by using drones, right? And our drone mapping is very accurate because we have got a full-blown team which is doing mapping almost every day. Okay? Because we keep checking our areas, not only for the perimeter survey and so on, but also encroachment, very important, yeah, in a lot of places. And also we do the palm stand count. Okay? We can count every palm in our estate automatically when we when we are doing the mapping at the same time, yeah. So with that we can also do our yield estimation, for example, right? And we will know that, if the palm plantation is affected by disease, those sort of things. Also, the other thing is that with these maps, we can also plan our replanting. We can know the terrain. Okay, it's called digital terrain mapping. We'll know where the hills are, where the low-lying areas are, where the rivers are, and so on. And when we redo our planting, we can do a better job, okay, than we used to do before, 20 years ago, for example, 30 years ago, right? So, and when we want to buy over maybe another estate, for example, one of the things we do is actually send in our team to go and do the drone mapping, right? So we can get all the details. So we just don't have to depend on their information, the seller's information, but we can also have first-hand information, right? So these are some of the things we are doing. And we are going to be developing further in detecting disease, for example, by using multispectral cameras, where we can fly over and see the different shades of green, which even our eye cannot detect, right? Because those cameras are very high precision type of cameras, yeah? So I hope I've answered your question. Yeah.
So even though we are a boring plantation company, but we use technology, quite a bit of technology also. So, okay, any more?
Yeah, Chairman, I don't have received any questions from the online platform.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, As we have addressed all written questions so far, we will now admit those in the queue to ask questions live using the video or voice call function in the meeting platform. Once you have been admitted by the meeting administrator, please enable your camera or unmute your microphone. Please state your full name and let us know if you are attending in a capacity of a shareholder or proxy.
Mr. Lim,
Not yet.
Sorry.
Wait a minute.
I got the indication there's no queue for the
No
video
queue.
call, so we can move on to the physical.
Oh, no queue.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You are very timely. So if there is no off-site shareholders asking questions through video or voice call, we now take questions from the floor. Mr. Lim, you are the first one.
Chairman, my name is Lim, James Lim, you can call me.
Yes.
Just now, Secretary already announced that no more online question. That was the reason why I stood up. I heard his comment. So, Mr. Chairman, my question, I thought actually a question relating to the company, but the thing is, I'm just wondering, we are selling our product produced overseas. How much is in US dollars? Because I foresee that in the near future, US dollars will be going down. And I remember during the 60s, US dollars was only $3.03. US dollars to Malaysian ringgit, $3.03. Now it's 4 something. I believe it will go down to $3 or even less. Okay. But that's why I don't want to invest in US dollars now. I prefer to buy Malaysian ringgit or Singapore dollar. Right. Now, apart from that, Mr. Chairman, as you know, I brought up the question just now. In fact, regarding the registration and so on. Now, I also understand that for Thursday meeting, pre-registration already closed. Already closed. So now what I want to suggest is, maybe the director or company secretary can, if I'm right, you take note lah. If I'm not right, then it's okay. But what I'm suggesting is that pre-registration and walk-in, like Dato' mentioned just now, you appreciate our attendance here. Don't forget, we are not coming from neighbor. We are coming from maybe about 50 kilometers away, and also traffic jam. And that's why you provide us with packet lunch or something like that, food. So we appreciate that. And also because you give us e-wallet because of the toll we have got to pay, petrol and so on. We appreciate very much. But what I'm going to suggest is you can have your pre-registration and walk-in, but don't give all the counters to pre-registration. All the walk-in we have got to wait for pre-registration to finish all. Then only we can go in. I would suggest maybe you can give half for pre-registration, the counter, registration, and half for walk-in. There's no problem, isn't it? But why should you give to all pre-registration and then we have got to stand up for about 1 hour? I think maybe you can consider. And also regarding the packed food, we appreciate that, but voucher, you can, of course, you will know how many people are attending. So I think to get voucher, you know why? When I went out and asked the registration counter for voucher, they said no more voucher. And then we went to the food counter. A lot of packed food is still available, but nobody is taking. So the voucher later on, how come only about 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, the voucher suddenly surfaced. I don't know why. That's why I managed to get the food package. But I mean, this is only because of your kind, generous to the shareholder. We appreciate. But please make sure that this is well organized. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your feedback. I think we shall improve.
Yeah.
So I think what Mr. Lee mentioned was that Thursday is the shareholders of IOI property groups. That's the AGM and EGM on that day. Yeah. So, okay.
Hello. Although the registration has closed for pre-registration, feel free to call the help desk and is still able to entertain. Don't worry. All right.
In addition, I think for the future meetings, AGM, we can increase the number of counters to facilitate faster registration. But we need to register. Okay.
You'll do a post-mortem after this. And also the estimation of the number over provide a bit in future. Okay.
All right, any more?
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, Mr.
My name is Chan Polai.
Hang.
Chan.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Chan.
I'm a shareholder. I heard Mr. Dato' Lee just now mentioned that he has a KPI. Did you share your KPI? Or is it a secret or what? I'm not sure. Can you share if it's possible? And I just wonder, is one of your KPI is including ESI, like employee satisfaction index? Because you mentioned you want to keep your employees happy, right? You mentioned that. So I'd like to know, if possible, what is your score on the ESI and others as well in general? Thank you.
What is the
score?
My score.
Score.
Yeah, I mean your overall KPI, if you can show, and we can see better what are your KPIs. I'm sure there's a long list of it, but maybe those are key ones.
Yeah. Okay. To summarize, so it's a demerit system. So we look at, to be independent, we use 5 ratings from independent agencies. Just now, I think Dr. Surina mentioned some of it: sports, Sustainalytics, FTSE Malaysia. EcoVadis may not be, and so there are 5. So and there's a certain minimum rating on all these 5. If I fail on all 5, 15% of my incentive will get deducted. Okay. But luckily, I think it was I was supposed to fail one out of the 5, but then somehow this year we managed to improve. So I think for this year, I all pass, all 5 pass. Yeah. So, they have to, my sustainability people and also the operation people have to help me to do that, because their salary, their bonus also depends on it. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Good morning, Chairman and the Board of Directors. My name is 𝐿𝐶𝐸, I'm a shareholder. I'd like to bring to your attention resolution number 4, as stated on the board and as stated on your convened AGM. There's a difference of 65,000 for resolution number 4. Stated in the convened AGM is, if I'm not mistaken, 285,000, whereas stated on your flash out was 350,000. Why the difference before we start voting? Resolution number 4.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. The increase of the director's benefit basically is to cater the increase of our meeting allowance from 1,000 ringgit to 1,500 ringgit. Yeah. So that is the additional one that we estimated for this year. But it will be based on a 2002 the cost is about always around 250,000. Yeah. So this is other than the director fees, which is under the Companies Act, the directors who have this corporate insurance, premium and some the benefit, and also the meeting allowance that will require the shareholder approval separately.
Okay.
My real question is, I read to you what is stated here, resolution number 4. To approve the payment of directors' benefits other than directors' fees of up to Rm 285,000 for the period from 6 November 2024 until the next annual general meeting. Whereas when you flash out and see just now, it's 350,000.
It should be 350,000 as per the notice. There was a typo error that I believe that it should be 350 as per the notice.
Then how do you vote on this then? Software?
KPMG can just rectify it immediately. Thank you for highlighting.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
All right, next one. Yeah, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. My name is Dinesh. I am shareholder. I'd like to ask our CFO, regarding the oil palm is moving on the upside, what is your crystal ball telling? Because it's premium to soya bean at the moment, Is speculate or what do you think?
Sorry, I cannot see which, or you are there. Oh, at the back there, okay. sorry. I was just looking for you.
Yeah.
Can you repeat your question?
My question is, see, at the moment you see oil palm is moving further up and up. But what your crystal ball is telling, because the soya bean is more cheaper than our oil palm at the moment, see. You foresee any speculate or in long run will be there?
All right. Yeah.
So you...
Our CEO, Dato' Lee.
Yeah. So I must say you're a keen observer of the CPO market international wise. Yeah, indeed so now palm oil is more expensive than the Chicago bought soybean by about $90 per ton. So that is so normally is actually, instead of premium, palm oil premium is actually a discount to soybean of about $100 to $150 per ton. So indeed this is unusual. But as I said just now, it seems that the demand is still strong from India. I gave the figures. Even Europe also 400,000 in October. So annualized is 5 million or more. So it is, so we have production figures. Of course, you read the production figures. Southern Johor is the decline of by 7-8% expected for October. So that's, I think part of it is some analysts or some funds have looked at it and think that the supply is going to be constrained, and therefore the price also has increased quite significantly. But however, our experience is that Johor, the Peninsular Malaysia, the production is low, but Sabah and Sarawak actually production increased. So on balance, there's only a slight decrease. So my marketing people also tell me that there may be some funds who don't look so much at the fund, who just look at certain fundamentals and therefore have driven the price up. So yeah, that's our summary of our views.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, this side, yeah. Wait, yeah.
Morning, Dato' Lee, board members, and members of the floor, fellow shareholders. My name is Raymond So, a shareholder. The question is, I would like to thank Dato' Lee and his team and the board of directors for having this physical meeting. I have not attended physical meeting for the past 5 years. This is the first one. And I'm glad that you have really, opened the door for physical meeting. And I hope more companies will follow suit. And regarding the KPI, right, I would say shareholders will agree, right? If the directors should earn more, we are very happy. But also the shareholders must also increase in value. The shares of IOI must go up. Right? So everybody happy. You happy, we are happy. And on the scale that I would say that your treatment to your staff is fantastic, excellent. I've got a friend who also a brother, a Christian brother, who works for these IOI hotels. And he always mentions that, his father, Dato' Lee, always talked to the palm oil trees. And the palm oil used high productivities. So I hope that, maybe you also can talk to the tree also. So that IOI Corporation, the palm oil will go further up. Right? And another question I would like to answer is about these shareholders and proxies. But I prefer that you value shareholders more than proxies, right? Shareholders should be given a more VIP treatment. Don't have to wait like the proxies. Alright? Because proxies don't attend. They give it to somebody to attend. So priority should be given to shareholders who come in and maybe can flex to the IC instead of queuing up. Just flex it and then the shareholders can just move on. There's a high technology, high AI now. Very fast. You don't need staff also. Just clean, wave it, and then the photograph, snag it, and just go off. So, and thank you for the food and thank you for the watches. And I hope that IOI will progress well and the price will go up further. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Saw, for your very encouraging words. I'm sure your best wishes to the company is taken in good heart, and they will work harder in the future. Okay, any more questions?
Oh.
Hi, Dato' Lee and Chairman. Just coming to the palm oil prices, which has actually escalated like crazy. So I believe it will taper off after Chinese New Year, where all the festivities are coming, are all gone. So I'm not sure what's the plan, because currently it's very difficult to sell palm oil. I believe, I'm not sure, because the prices are high and it's very competitive. And also with fatty acids also, fatty acids and glycerin. So I would like to know what's the plant capacity utilization, currently. Are you fully sold on that, or what's happening? Because of the price increase, it's also difficult to produce. That's the first question. Yeah. And also talking about biomass. Yeah.
Sorry, can I hear? Maybe can remove your mask for a while. Just
I'm Chan from shareholder. So basically, I've been attending and also one of the ex-ASIC staff previously, many years back. Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is I'd like to know the plant capacity utilization rate for fatty acids and glycerin. And is it fully export right now, or you're still holding back? You wait for price further up so that you can sell at a better price and achieve a better margin. So basically, that's one thing. And also, I'd like to have an update about your biomass production, which is handled by our Masale friend here, the director. So what's happening? So maybe he can also update on that. Yeah. So, and because whether biomass also, the price also go up accordingly, or is it still coming up the production, or is there a target on that? Maybe you can update us on that. Thanks.
What's your name again?
Chan.
Chan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chan.
Okay. So the plant utilization, can I answer the second question? So the first one on the selling of CPO. So indeed we are, when price is high, we are more aggressive in selling, and we don't just concentrate on one particular month. So we try to sell and a bit more forward as well. because then we get better distribution. Because you never know when it's going to, it can stay for a while, this up, or it can be very fast, but we try to sell more on the longer term. Exactly how much is a moving, all this moving target, and also it's not convenient to disclose here.
How about the fatty acids and glycerin?
Fatty acid, this our deputy group CEO will answer. He's in charge of the downstream manufacturing.
Yep.
Hello. Yeah. Chan, thank you for the question. My name is Tan. So in terms of the utilization of our fatty acid plant, it's about 80%. Yeah, around 80%. So of course, when the palm oil prices are increasing, there could be a challenge for the downstream. But nevertheless, the demand is rather stable now. So the challenge is only how we can pass on the price increase of the palm oil to the downstream products.
Hello. Also with the RSPO and all that, is there a high lobby from Europe to go against products made from palm oil, like the chocolate industry and all that?
Yeah, it has always been there. Of course, if you follow the news, in recent time is the EUDR, the European Union Deforestation Regulation. So that is the current so-called issue facing the downstream. But in terms of EUDR, if you are following the news, there's also a postponement. So it's postponed by 1 year. But nevertheless, our group is prepared. We are prepared for that. Yeah. And there's also positive coming from this, because as an integrated palm oil producer, we are very well prepared compared to all the standalone oleochemical producer, for instance.
So in terms of geographical location, do you still concentrate a lot on Europe for exports, or you have well spread out in terms of percentage-wise? Yeah.
Yeah, we are very well spread. We actually export to about 80 countries at the moment. Europe is still important. If you talk about percentage, I would reckon about 20%.
Okay, so cannot continue, otherwise it's a conversation
interview.
Maybe on
biomass.
Yeah. So on the biomass, actually it's palm wood, palm wood. So for that I call upon not Masale but Mark Peter Fitch to answer the questions. He's the CEO of IY Palm Wood.
Okay, thank you very much again, Mr. Chan, for your very good question. And this year I've prepared a little bit. Okay, last year I hadn't. But basically, just to let all the shareholders here know what's happening with IOI Palmwood. Now we're focusing on scaling the production. So this is obviously our main concern. But whilst we're scaling production, we're also looking at increasing quality to make sure that we have an acceptable product going into the market. Also, what's a big challenge to us as well is to make sure that we establish all the company's policies, procedures, and also the company culture. So to help do that, we're also embarking on getting certification from the ISO 9001, 14001, and 45001. But we're also looking at ways in which we can also certify our products under MSPO, because as palm is not a wood, we can't be certified under the timber associations. So we're looking at certifying our material under MSPO, under a separate category. The other thing that's very important thing that we're doing as well is looking at developing our brand to make sure that we have some brand recognition, certainly within the domestic market initially. And we're also working with new customers and repeat customers to make sure that we have a good business development model going forward. Also very important, as one of the key KPIs for the group, is looking at leveraging our green credentials using, like I said, ESG and product certification. Part of that also includes strengthening our supply chains, because we can't store the OPT for very long periods of time. So it's very important to make sure that we have good, robust supply chains. And also last but not least, we're also embarking on setting up our Center of Excellence for OPT-based biomass materials. So watch this space, okay? Exciting things will happen. Thank you.
Okay.
We've actually started production already, but like I said, now the issue is scaling up production and getting a good, acceptable quality out into the market. We already have a lot of the doors that you see now in new projects in Malaysia will have our palm wood core. So it's already out in the market. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Looks like there's now no more. Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Rian. I'm actually a shareholder, but technically, somehow they register me as a proxy and deny some of the rights that, as a shareholder, I should receive. I hope later on I can discuss with Mr. Vincent Tan to clarify this one, because I believe I highlighted same problem many years ago. Okay. First inquiry is, you mentioned earlier about this human rights concern. Okay, would it somehow impact your export to Europe? Would they pick this one up and deny receiving crude palm oil from IOI? Okay. Next, if let's say we base on the current palm oil price, okay, and assuming the same monsoon season, how much percentage increase of profit we can get if assuming we have the same production as last year? Next, because I have not received annual reports and resolution, okay, I don't know what are the training attended by directors. Have any of them attended any training on AI and tax? For example, if let's say there are scammers pretending to be Datuk Peter Chin and put pages on the Facebook asking us to register so we get his authorized biography for free. Because I've seen some of the CEOs' name appear on Facebook before, and to seek our personal information. I would like to also suggest that the directors really look into the administrative of the conduct of the AGM. Do not just leave it to the company secretary. Please also make use of your investor relations. Earlier on, you have a staff who are very proactive. Perhaps he can be the help desk to be positioned outside so that to help in terms of running off annual reports, drinks and coffee, all this admin stuff. And talking about virtual against physical meeting, I think the main concern here is that you seem to be not ready in conducting physical meeting. There are too much things that needed to be improved. Okay, for example, like those who are taking public transport in support of this sustainability initiative. Okay, it took me around about 5 hours to reach here. And the main reason, one of the main delay is that you don't even have public transport from Putrajaya Central to here. Only one private vehicle, which only live like 1 hour. And unfortunately, I arrived just on time, but the bus left early. And for the next trip, the bus left much later than scheduled. So if you really want to have physical meeting and you want to support ESG, I think lots of matters that you need to really look into. But of course, alternatively, if you have virtual meeting, you can overcome all this problem. So I think those people who are concerned about why is it they're having different treatment for attending virtual, I think their concerns are valid. Because for physical meeting, the overhead of managing is quite overwhelmed. You must make sure that you are really ready when you want to really conduct physical meeting. If I recall correctly, in your admin note, you emphasize a lot on face masks, but I think none of the directors even wearing face masks. And you should actually also provide complimentary face masks in the future. As for the comment about this minority watch group mentioned about these women directors, I hope instead of just looking in terms of DNA, you look into the spirit behind it. Like we can have Datuk Peter Chin, we can have Datuk Lee, even though they are male, but if let's say they have this motherlyhood concern, spirit, humble, like maybe much better than women, I think we should consider those values rather than being just mere putting a female directors because they are female. Lastly, okay, about this resolution about related party transaction. If I'm not mistaken, this hotel belongs to IOI property. Okay, and why are we actually choosing this venue if, let's say, we emphasize on participation of shareholders? Perhaps we should consider a venue which is more conducive, connection with public transport, and is actually strategically located. And also, there are hardly any signages from the mall to come to this hotel. Okay, with that, thank you.
Okay, what is your name?
Rian. Rian, yeah.
R-E-I-N, Rian. Oh, okay. Okay. So let me see. So many points you have made. I also forgotten some of the points. I hope I don't miss out. Okay. Yeah. So I go in order. The first one is about human rights cases that were mentioned just now during the answers to MSWG. So I think this 8 cases. So I think for our customers or Europeans or in general, so as long as they are assured that this is not a systematic human rights abuses or abusers of employee rights, they are okay with it. So we have shown that we are putting a lot of effort to draw out the response or feedback from the workers. We are putting so much effort in inspecting their housing, facilities, etc. So actually we receive good comments from them. So so far. So that is okay. I think as long as the incidents are considered isolated and not systematic. Then we have the increase in production CPO for this year. So we have very intensive replanting over the last 3 years. So in spite of the replanting, we still for last financial year we are able to have a single-digit increase in our CPO production, 5-6%. So this year we predict also it will be that small increase because of this intensive replanting that we are going on here. The directors training AI and tax. Actually there are so many trainings. I think each director I can see 10 to 15 on average. Some even 20 actually. So I don't know about. I think a few of us did attend training on AI and cybersecurity. So tax actually most of our directors will attend because we organize it in-house. Women directors. So notice we describe what are the attributes of these women directors just now. So it's not because we don't appoint people just because they are women. So the capability and the experience is very important to us. Location of the AGM. Some people like this place because then after that they can go and shop in IOI City Mall, which is the largest mall in Malaysia. So it is very subjective. But I'm curious, where do you come from? It took 5 hours to come here.
Just Klang Valley. The problem is that at Putrajaya Central, okay, you don't have public buses quite frequent coming to this area.
Okay.
And they are, the one that you have is unreliable. It's a private bus. It's not part of Rapid.
Okay. All right. So
Perhaps if you want to have it, you might want to propose to IOI property because it's part of your sister company and you're going to approve relationship, related party transactions. They should really look into having dedicated, more reliable public transport, or they provide at least during the AGM.
Okay, thank you.
Then more people will love to shop in IOI. More.
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. So, any more questions? Chairman.
Sorry, so on my request, I can meet up with your co-sec later on some of the admin matters.
Yeah, you can meet me later.
Okay. And about the face masks, have you?
Face mask, actually, we don't, we say no need to wear. Only if you feel unwell, then you wear.
In your admin note, you really emphasize, you say you should wear.
No,
the other way around.
Actually, it's only when you are unwell we stated that. Yeah.
So it's all very individual. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I think this is all for the questions from the floor. We will now, I thank Dr. Lee and Vincent for assisting in answering all the questions put forward. And we sincerely thank you, our shareholders, for your diligence in studying the annual report, as well as taking note of the progress of the company each year, and also your participation now. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now allocate an additional 5 minutes for shareholders who have yet to cast your votes. We anticipate that it will take another 5 minutes after the conclusion of the voting session for the counting of votes and the validation of the results. The meeting will resume upon receiving the poll results duly verified by the independent scrutineers. So, ladies and gentlemen, the 5 minutes countdown starts now. And if you have yet to cast votes for the resolutions tabled at the AGM, please proceed to do so now. Thank you.
So there'll be a 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There'll be a 10 minutes break. 5 minutes plus 5 minutes.
Okay.
How to cast your vote. Exit full screen mode to start submitting your vote. On the right side of the video screen, you should see the portion to cast your votes per resolution. Click on Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to cancel your vote, simply click on Cancel Vote and vote again accordingly. That's how easy it is to cast your vote. How to cast your vote. Exit full screen mode to start submitting your vote. On the right side of the video screen, you should see the portion to cast your votes per resolution. Click on Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to cancel your vote, simply click on Cancel Vote and vote again accordingly. That's how easy it is to cast your vote. How to cast your vote. Exit full screen mode to start submitting your vote. On the right side of the video screen, you should see the portion to cast your votes per resolution. Click on Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to cancel your vote, simply click on Cancel Vote and vote again accordingly. That's how easy it is to cast your vote. How to cast your vote. Exit full screen mode to start submitting your vote. On the right side of the video screen, you should see the portion to cast your votes per resolution. Click on Next to see other resolutions and vote accordingly. Should you want to cancel your vote, simply click on Cancel Vote and vote again accordingly. That's how easy it is to cast your vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for coming back again. I have received the results of the poll validated by the scrutineer, and we shall now resume the meeting for the declaration of results. The Secretary will announce the poll results on my behalf, and may I have the poll results on the screen, please?
All right, we go for the poll result. Resolutions number 1, we have 3.19 million shares, 80% vote for and 19% vote against. Resolution 2, 99% vote for, 0.37% against. Resolution 3, we have 99.99% vote for and 0.006% against. Resolution 4, 99.99% for and 0.006% against. Resolution 5, 99.99% for, and which is a very negligible percentage against. Resolution 6, we have 71% for and 28% against. Resolution 7, we have 99.6% for and 0.3% against. Lastly, Resolution 8, 99.99% for and 0.002% against.
So, ladies and gentlemen, based on the results of the poll, I hereby declare that all ordinary resolutions for today's meeting are duly carried. With that, thank you. With that, our hybrid 55th AGM comes to a close. On behalf of the board, I thank all of you, especially our shareholders, for your attendance. I know I've just met some of you. You have traveled so far away and still come to attend this meeting. Thank you very much. And I wish you all a pleasant day ahead. Thank you.